What's going on, guys? If you want to understand what is going on in culture, we've had a lot of family gatherings. It's obviously summer coming, and there's a lot of family gatherings and stuff going on. And we have a lot of conversations just really throughout the course of my life. But again, this weekend about, how are companies doing these ridiculous woke things, and how are these things going on, and how, and then like really nuanced, arguments and debates. And I used to get into all this 10 years ago and 20 years ago, and I try not to anymore, and I don't. I just like, guys, this is all an agenda. Like, this is an agenda. This is the whole point, is we are wasting time talking about, like, what word am I using to complete waste of time? Complete waste of time. This is the exact point of the one world government agenda, the progressive agenda, Fabian socialist, whatever you want to kind of call it. The whole point is to distract and make you forget about what's actually happening. It's to use the brain slave nature we have, as Bucky Fuller said, of the specialization of people just locked in their jobs, head down, working and not really seeing the forest from the trees. And then also distraction culture, fantasy sports, gambling, illegal and legal drugs, all of it, complete distraction. And then really politics in general, political theater, just complete distraction, polarization, division, hate. The fires in the background of CNN during the BLM riots, and mostly peaceful, right? Mostly peaceful. I mean, just complete distraction theater. And again, if you want to understand things, we're going to start doing a little more of like actual looking at what's actually happening and why it's happening. Because that's, again, Band-Aids and bullet holes is what we are as a society love. The Naked Communist by Skousen. Unbelievable book about where we are and why we are there. Because when you start understanding why we're here, you don't have to spend any time on it. You can just work on solutions. This is why I do everything I can to educate people, and why we've done investing in our real estate business and talked. All we did was it was literally for years and years make videos and hundreds of videos educating our clients, educating people around us, educating people on Bitcoin now and hard money and gold and silver in the past and monetary history and just on and on and on, right? So things like this, the 45 communist goals, takeover. The communists knew they couldn't take over America from the outside. So they had to do it from the inside. They had to subvert from the inside. So things like belittling, and this is just some of the 45 goals, belittling all forms of American culture and discourage the teaching of American history on the grounds it was only a minor part of the big picture. Give more emphasis to Russian history since the communist takeover. Here's another one. Support any socialist movement to give centralized control over any part of the culture, education, social agencies, welfare programs, mental health clinics, etc. And this just goes on and on and on. And this book it's a big book, obviously. And here's another one. Eliminate all laws or procedures which interfere with the operation of the communist apparatus. Eliminate the House Committee on Un-American Activities. Discredit and eventually dismantle the FBI. And on and on. And they've done a great job of discrediting the FBI and things of that nature. Infiltrate and gain control of more of the unions. Infiltrate and take over one of the political parties. Infiltrate and gain control of big business. These are all separate goals. Here's another one. Transfer some of the powers of arrest from police to social agencies. Think of things like OSHA or whatever, where they just had lockdown mandates and the rent control or the rent, saying you can't evict people. You can't evict people if they aren't paying. And that was just completely a workaround, through OSHA. Like, what? It was a health issue. Transfer some of the powers of arrest from police to social agencies. Treat all behavioral problems as psychiatric disorders, which no one but psychiatrists can understand or treat. And this goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And here's another amazing book if you want to understand what's truly going on. So that book was from 1958. This book was just from the last few years. So that was kind of the first part of the communist plan. This is the second part of the communist plan, and talking about the solutions as well. Capitalism, Bitcoin, hard money, talked about it in here. Right? So when you go in here and you look at what's actually happening, and one of my favorite things about this book talks about brain slaves and specialization and people not being able to see the forest and the trees, purposely done, right? Bucky Fuller talks about this. The General Education Board, Rockefeller, we want doers, not thinkers. Humans are meant to be generalists and thinkers and macro thinkers and like big picture thinkers. We're not supposed to be specialists in the sense of like we just have our head down, not seeing what's going on around us. We were warned. You Americans are so gullible. No, you won't accept communism outright, but we'll keep feeding you small doses of socialism until you finally wake up and find you already have communism. We won't have to fight you. We'll so weaken your economy until you fall like overripe fruit into our hands. Nikita Khrushchev, September 29th, 1959. there's nothing else to be said at the end of the day. This is why I talk with the confidence I talk with in many things I talk. I don't know everything, but I've studied a ton of history over the past 20 and 25 years, growing up literally since I can remember. And this has just been a part of my life as I have bugs on me. Another one, again, from Edmund Burke, an Irish statesman, economist, philosopher who lived from 1729 to 1797, warned, "The only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing." And that's where we find ourselves in. That's the chapter of the movie we find, or of the book we find ourselves in, is we are in the, they fight you stage, actively coming out and, teaching your children whatever they want in school, saying you aren't, the parents have nothing to do with their kids. You don't know better. You don't know anything to teach your kids. They should be learning sex positions when they're in 5th grade or 3rd grade or whatever. So we're in that stage, and are good men going to stand up? Men have been castrated. They've been driven away from society, and we now are living the fruits and the reaping what we have sowed for decades and decades. So we are seeing that. We're seeing the destruction of money and the destruction of God. Those two things equal, destruction of God plus destruction of the money equals crushed empire, fallen empire, period. It's the most simple equation there is. And that is where we are. So again, I want to give context for some of the things we do and why we do what we do. Reading some of the classics. I should have read the Communist Manifesto. The Communist Manifesto in here. One of the 10 planks. Centralize the banking, right? Central banking. This is all part of the plan. If you don't understand history, you are doomed to repeat it. Period. Again, you listen to Elon Musk just said it today. Jim Rogers has said this for decades. If you want to be a good investor, if you want to understand what's going on in the world, you must understand history and you must understand psychology and philosophy. You have to understand those things, or you will get crushed. You will not do well as an investor. You will not be able to provide for your family easily. You won't be able to see the forest from the trees. You'll make stupid decisions. And we're human. We're going to make stupid decisions. But the challenge is trying to minimize those decisions, those impacts, and trying to minimize this amount of stupid decisions and not making stupid decisions over and over again and compounding those mistakes. So how can we get better? Understanding, education. Everyone can educate. These books are $5 to $10 a piece, $15 a piece on eBay. You can buy them on Amazon. It's very simple. You can get them on audiobook. Many of them are on YouTube now for free. You can listen to them. This is the way. It's getting sound money, education, and God back into our lives. A moral compass, if you will. A moral compass, nature's law. Understanding there is truth. There is actual truth. There is actually truth. It's not postmodernism. It's not moral relativism. Truth isn't what you want it to be today or what you think it should be tomorrow. That is not what it is. Gravity is not 10.8 meters squared per second tomorrow. That's not how life works. And until we understand that again and have another enlightenment, we are going to have major problems. So I appreciate you coming to my TED Talk. Please share this out because the algorithm hates truth. It hates truth. And let me know if you would like to see a little bit more of the things I read and what I have been studying for years and years and years to make me who I am. So let me know if you'd like more of that. This is not financial advice. It's freedom advice. Question everything with boldness, even the existence of God himself. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one.